Any one of you attended the Ratha Yatra? Jai Jagannath Swami ki and Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki. I've heard you're going to have also your Ratha Yatra on the 1st of July and on the 2nd. Double. No one can beat you. No one can beat you. I've been to many Ratha Yatras all over the world. Sometimes they will do Snana Yatra on the night before of the Ratha Yatra. It's like in South Africa, actually in Durban, they have a new Jagannath Puri temple there. Double. And no one can beat you. Haribo. No one can beat you. Yes. We will have Ratha Yatra the next day, but Snana Yatra the night before. So that is the shortest, like festival of Snana Yatra and Ratha Yatra. So on Tuesday, 14th. So yes, that's amazing. Yes. We're also having Ratha Yatra in Vrindavan, actually in Mathura. In Mathura. We got the permission this year. Seems to be COVID is fading away. So yes, we're going to have Ratha Yatra in Mathura. Even though Ratha Yatra symbolizes the invitation of the Brajabasis who were during the solar eclipse in Kurukshetra to bring back Vrindavan, to bring back Krishna back to Vrindavan. So we're doing Ratha Yatra in Vrindavan, even though Krishna is already in Vrindavan. The spirit is there. So we're just going to chant a little bit and then we will discuss. Today is the Panihati Chadi or Chida. Panihati Chida Dahi Mahotsav is a pastimes of the Supreme Lord, Lord Nityananda and Raghunath Das Goswami. You've heard that pastimes before? Yes? Yes. So a little bit of that. And who is Raghunath Das Goswami especially? Anyone playing the Mridanga? Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Sodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tera Vanachati Yamuna Tera Vanachati Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jai Radha Gopinata Radha Gopinata Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe. Jaya Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Go Haribo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimad Bhagavad Krishna Krishna Bhutale Prabhupada Sasai Pakasha Vitiraja Jagannath Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavani Paschatya Deshatarine Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutapada Kamalang Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakambitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So today is most auspicious day, the Chidadahi Mahotsav, this pastime that happened in Panihati. Panihati is nearby Calcutta. It's a very, very significant place that 500 years ago, pastime between Lord Nityananda and Raghunath Das Goswami happened. Raghunath Das Goswami is one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Shri Rupa, Shri Sanatan, Shri Jiva, Shri Raghunath Bhatt, Shri Raghunath Das, and Shri Gopal Bhatt Goswami. The 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan is very, very famous since they were given the task of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to excavate the lost places, Leela Stalis or pastimes of the Supreme Lord that happened 5,000 years ago. Those places became covered up in due course of time. And they were also given the instruction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to write the different scriptures regarding Bhakti Sastras. And also they wrote many books regarding the pastimes also of the Supreme Lord. Some of these pastimes cannot be, or we are not able to see anywhere else, even in the Srimad Bhagavatam, because they were given a vision or visions to see those pastimes in their ecstatic moments, in their samadhi. And Raghunath Das Goswami is the first of the 6 Goswamis who had the darshan of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead who appeared 500 years ago in the mood of the greatest of the devotees, Srimati Radharani. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none different than Radha and Krishna combined. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. So to teach us how to become a devotee, he came 500 years ago. And in this way, by following in his footsteps, which he says that to follow in the footsteps of the Brajabasis This is our goal. How they love, how they sacrifice everything, how they surrender unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he was born in a very rich family. His family, his father and his uncle, Govardhan and Hiranya Majumdar, they're both millionaires 500 years ago. Now, to be a millionaire 500 years ago is like never heard of. Now, many millionaires. Now you have to be a billionaire to be part of the billionaire club. That is rare. But 500 years ago, their income monthly is 8 lakhs rupees. They were given the Hussein Shah, the leader in those days, and they're given some land, and they just have to pay tax to the Hussein Shah, 12. Actually, they're supposed to give 12 lakhs, but they're collecting 20 lakhs. So that means they're getting 8 lakhs. And in those days, annas, very, very, you can buy so many kilos of rice in few annas. So what to say of having 8 lakhs rupees per month, the salary or the income. And right from the early age, Raghunath Das Goswami have heard of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He got the association of Haridas Thakur. Who is Haridas Thakur? He's an Namacharya, and he was born in a Muslim family. He did not even take birth in a Hindu family. He was born in a Muslim family, and because he was so attached in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, 3 lakhs holy names every day. That means 192 rounds, which means almost 24 hours. We're even finding it difficult to finish our 16 rounds. And we're followers of, supposed to be, of Sanatan Dharma. That means he's fully engaged, Haridas Thakur. So Haridas Thakur blessed him that he will soon have darshan of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is from the personality whom Raghunath Das Goswami heard about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Shantipur, Raghunath Das Goswami asked the permission of his father to come and see him. And he was just a young boy. That means like teenager or so. So he came to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he became attached to him. The weapon of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is his beauty. Anyone who will have darshan of the Supreme Lord will fall in love with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Raghunath Das Goswami has the same feature. He's very attractive as a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he just wants to follow Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He doesn't want to go home now. I just want to be with you. I just want to spend the whole time with you. Please allow me to do so. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, you should go home. Return to your family. Act as if that you are acting normal And in due course of time, you will join me. So Raghunath Das Goswami returned home, but he performed the duty of a good son because his father is a businessman. So his father trained him to be a first-class businessman. But then his mind is always on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he will always ask his father, can I join? He says no. And if not, he's not given the permission, he would try to escape. He would try to run towards where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. But then he will be caught every time he wished or he wanted to live home. And then finally, his parents have him married a very beautiful wife, as if a denizen from the heavenly planet. Very beautiful. Just to have him be stationed and not to go to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's place. So what happened is that still he's always trying to run away. His mother says, if our wealth cannot stop him from going to be with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and even having him married with a very beautiful wife cannot stop him, we cannot do anything. So he will be always guarded by personal assistants. He cannot move around. But then he also is being taught by the Kula Guru. In India, this is what you call Kula Guru. Kula Guru means family guru. Now, he may not be a Vaishnava. He could be a Smarta Brahmana. But usually in India, all the families, most of the families, they have personal family guru. So his family guru says one day that I'm going for some errands, some business. And therefore, I wish to find someone who can continue the puja of my deities. So he went to Raghunath Das Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami says, well, I know someone who can do it, but I have to go with you. I'll tell you where to go and find him. So that was the excuse. The Guru told the ones who was looking after him, who's guarding him, and Raghunath Das Goswami says, I'm going with my Guru because with some business to do. He has some business to do, and I know someone. So as soon as they left home, he told his Guru that I will take care of it. But he did not do it. He escaped. He went to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then from then on, the father, he cannot do anything else except just let him go. But because they are so concerned with their son, Raghunath Das Goswami, he would send some money for his expenditures, for his pocket money, so to speak. And he would use this for feeding the Vaishnavas. He will not use it for himself. Raghunath Das Goswami is so renowned so renowned. We were reading on the way here that he would worship the Supreme Lord, offer obeisances to Lord Krishna 1,000 times every day. This is every day. 1,000 times paying dandavats, obeisances to Lord Krishna. 2,000 times dandavat, obeisances to the Vaishnavas. He would rarely eat. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, he felt so much in separation that he would rarely eat. He will only eat fruits and milk. But then when Sanatana Goswami left, he will only eat buttermilk. 100 grams of buttermilk. You know what's 100 grams? You know, a glass like this is about 250 ml, 250 grams. That means 1/4, less, almost 1/4 of this glass. And this is every other day. this is not even every day. Now, when Rupa Goswami left his body, he would not eat at all. His body is so frail that everyone is crying whenever they see his feature. In the presence of Raghunath Das Goswami, all the Vaishnavas are feeling the pain. But for Raghunath Das Goswami, this is nothing. Because he's always absorbed. The devotee who was with me, he may be starving physically, but actually he's always full spiritually. He would do parikrama also every day, Govardhan Hill. His austerities, it says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, is like etched on a stone. It's so rigid. He would chant almost, he would chant 1 lakh names of the Lord, 64 rounds. And there's a story whereby when he was chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in Radhakund, that the sun is so hot. In the middle of the day, he's keep on chanting, and even Radharani will come to use her part of the sari, the veil, to give shelter or cover Raghunath Das Goswami so that the heat of the sun will not affect him. The Sanatana Goswami will see this. He's so oblivious, he's so in trance, in ecstasy while chanting, that he would say, Sanatana Goswami, that don't take service from the Lord. Don't take service from Srimati Radharani. One time he was chanting also in Radhakund, and in those days, 500 years ago, there's many wild animals roaming around. So Krishna was there. He was watching so that his devotee will not be in danger. And when there was a tiger coming, Krishna shoo him away, shoot him away. And Sanatana Goswami saw this again. Then he told Raghunath Das Goswami, this is not proper. You're performing austerities, you're chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, But then the Lord becomes obliged to guard you. We should not act in such a way that we're like having the Lord become obliged to serve us. We should actually serve them. We should serve them. It's not that, but because this is the Lord's mercy, this is the Lord's compassion, this is the Lord's kindness, that the Lord will do anything and everything because this is the reciprocation of love coming from the devotees, then he will reciprocate. And that was the time that the Bhajan Kutir started. How many of you have been to Radhakund and Govardhan? Yes? You have seen the Bhajan Kutir or the Samadhi Mandir of Raghunath Das Goswami, where there is like a 24-hour kirtan going on. Yes, that is the exact place where Raghunath Das Goswami was doing his bhajan. So that was the start of having this Bhajan Kutir. So Raghunath Das Goswami, one time, he was in Panihati, and Lord Nityananda would like to give his mercy and blessings to him, that as if he would want to punish Raghunath Das Goswami, knowingly that he is son of a very rich man, belonging to a very rich family, that he told him, "What are you doing? Why don't you make a feast for the pleasure of the Vaishnavas?" And Raghunath Das Goswami says, "Yes, whatever you tell me, I will follow. If that is your instruction, it'll be my life and soul." So, on that day, which means this day commemorates that pastime, different ingredients are being collected, and whatever money has been sent by his father, Govardhan Majumdar, he asked everyone, and they're near the river. There's a river. What's the name of the river? Is it Ganga? Ganga. Yes. And there are thousands and thousands also of villagers there. This pastime is also called Danda festival, the festival of punishment. We think punishment cannot be a festival, but in Krishna consciousness, there is a festival of punishment. It's called Danda Mahotsav. So they collected all the ingredients, different kinds of fruits, different kinds of rice, chipped rice, different kinds of spices. They collected many liters of milk and yogurt, especially dahi. So they mix them all up because this is the first day when the monsoon will start to come. The heat is so intense that is around 45 to 50 degrees. Still, in Vrindavan, it is still about 45 degrees. But this is the start of the monsoon. That means it's still not monsoon. That means it's still hot. So they want to make sure that everything is, that they're going to make is cooling. It's very cooling. Let me see if I can find a description of that. I'm going to mention to you the different ingredients or different preparations that they have. Just give me a little moment here because I just read it. Okay. Yeah, it just before monsoons. It's very muggy, humid. And the feast begins with Ganji's curd upma, a moist and delicious preparation of vegetables and grains. Before offering a flavorful stream of yogurt is poured around the base of the upma in honor of the festival goers who had to stand in the Ganges to enjoy their prasadam because there was no room left in the river banks. So they are near the river banks. It is so full that some of them are lined up along the river banks. I'm going to read you this. I'm sure maybe sometime you'll be able to prepare this. A dry curry of peas and paneer is stuffed in a hollow lemon, which adds nice flavor to the preparation. Rava idli is a savory cake that goes nicely with the aloo Kerala fry, a spicy fried patty of potatoes and bitter melon. Nestled among the whites of rice and yogurt is a delightful stuffed white baby eggplant. I think we had it this morning. Did you prepare that this morning? You know, small eggplant, round, which is filled with spiced almond butter, then wrapped together with lemongrass and baked. Another pungent savory is the Jai, Sisi Radhe Shyam, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, Sisi Gornitai Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Is the Baigan Sarson, a treat of diced eggplant wrapped in mustard greens, then crispy fried in ghee. Roasted okra raita provides a smooth and mellow touch with the spicy dishes, while the rubbered and dried cherry chutney adds a tangy flavor to the idli and savories. The nectar preparations from the original Chida Dahi festival are, we hope, faithfully represented by the Chida Dahi pots. These two wonderful sweet rices are served in traditional clay bowls. In one pot, cheap rice is prepared in sweet yogurt with bananas, while the second pot contains rice in a sweet, thick kheer with ghee, bananas, and camphor. Did you have any of these preparations today? Huh? Yes, we had part of our lunch this afternoon. A milk sweet cake and gunjamala malpuri is encircled with fresh red and black berries, reminiscent of the garland Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave Raghunath Das Goswami to wear around his neck. There's so many more. Actually, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he spent the last 18 years of his Leela pastime in Jagannath Puri. 6 years he was traveling all over South India, or all over India. 24 years as a grihasta in not in Puri, in Mayapur, in Navadvip. 24 years, and he lived for 48 years. 6 years he was traveling all over, even in South India. He passed by Vrindavan also. And the last 18 years in Jagannath Puri. This is upon the request of his mother, Mother Sachi. And in those days, the days that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed in Jagannath Puri, Raghunath Das Goswami was with him. And he was given under the care of Sarup Damodar. Sarup Damodar is the personal servant, secretary of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was so pleased with the service attitude of Raghunath Das Goswami that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave his personal Govardhan Shila that he worshipped. Have you had darshan of that Govardhan Shila in Vrindavan? Yes? In Radha Golokananda, Radha Gokulananda temple. It's a small square Govardhan Shila. That means stone coming from Govardhan Hill, considered to be the topmost servant, Hari Dasya Bharya, and also considered as none different than Lord Krishna himself. And because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always massaging and is always in his hand, and there was an imprint of his thumb in the Govardhan Shila, and this Gunjamala, the necklace of Govardhan Shila. He was so, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so amazed, and he was so thankful and grateful to Raghunath Das Goswami's service that he gave his personal Govardhan Shila to him. So this feast, it says that the feast is complete with a tart lime cooler blending honey, ginger, and anise that would surely please all those sitting in the Panihati sun on the banks of Ganga Mata. This is located 10 miles up north of Calcutta. So in those days, they offer this most cooling of foods in such a temperature, which is composed or comprised of yogurt, because yogurt or dahi or dadhi is very cooling. So this is a passage about how the devotees pleased Lord Chaitanya and how the Lord reciprocated with the devotees in a very wonderful and pleasing festival. I'm going to read to you how this is the last one that I'm going to read. How the Lord becomes attracted to his devotees' effort trying to please him. The Lord actually not only sees the external of how the devotee behaves or how he performs his activities, but the Supreme Lord becomes attracted towards the Lord, to the Lord's devotees, selfless surrender, sacrifice, also for being renounced. Being renounced means using everything for Krishna's service, because bhakti is more internal than external. Sometimes I've seen devotees busy, going back and forth. But what is the motivation of this devotee who's doing this kind of being very busy? So what is more important is why we are doing what we are doing. It's not that what we're doing. That is secondary. What is more important is, are we having self-interest? Are we having motivation? Not just to please Krishna, but to please ourselves? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 16, text 238. Markata vairagya nakara loka dekana, yata yogya visaya bunja anashaktahana. Translation: you should not make yourself a show battle devotee and become a false renunciate. For the time being, enjoy the material world in a befitting way and do not become attached to it. Purport. The word markata vairagya, indicating false renunciation, is very important in this verse. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in commenting on this word, points out that monkeys make an external show of renunciation by not accepting clothing and by living naked in the forest. In this way, they consider themselves renunciates, but actually they are very busy enjoying sense gratification with dozens of female monkeys. Such renunciation is called markata vairagya, the renunciation of a monkey. One cannot be really renounced until one actually becomes disgusted with material activity and sees it as a stumbling block to spiritual advancement. Renunciation should not be palgu, temporary, but should exist throughout one's life. Temporary renunciation or monkey renunciation is like the renunciation one feels at a cremation ground. When a man takes a dead body to the cremation, he sometimes thinks, this is the final end of the body. Why am I working so hard day and night? Such sentiments naturally arise in the mind of any man who goes to a crematorial ghat. However, as soon as he returns from the cremation grounds, he again engages in material activity for sense enjoyment. This is called smasana vairagya or markata vairagya. In order to render service to the Lord, one may accept necessary things. If one lives in this way, he may actually become renounced. So, while we perform bhakti, all the necessary needs that we desire happens. This is the result, especially says that chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is like a chintamani stone. It fulfills all your desires, both material and spiritual desires. So we are warned that there's no need to be engaged in devotional service and ask for material desires. Automatically, whatever we desire, which pertains to the body, will be fulfilled. Krishna knows our needs. What we should be doing is that we should aspire for spiritual advancement while we do bhakti. We should aspire that our faith increases day by day and our loving relationship with the Supreme Lord will be revealed soon. If we perform bhakti to increase our material desires, because material benefits comes also while we perform bhakti, then we will miss the purpose of why we do bhakti. And then we will just do bhakti knowingly that material desires will be fulfilled. That we will do bhakti knowingly that, oh, my material needs are being fulfilled and I'm getting more and more opulent. Therefore, I should do more bhakti. That is not the goal of bhakti. That is not the goal of why we're doing what we're doing. So we have to be careful, because if you're going to be given, let's say, one desire, only one desire, what will it be? If you're going to be given this one desire, you should be very careful. You can think of anything, the highest. So when we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, all we ask for is to perform more service. And we're very fortunate here. You are very fortunate here. You have Radha Shyama Sundar. You have Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. You have Gaurnitai. You have Srila Prabhupada. It's giving you an opportunity to go back home, back to Godhead. Whatever you do for their pleasure, it'll be recorded in the, Prabhupada says, Krishna has a black book. Whatever you do, if it's done unselflessly, no unselfish, no selfish desire, no ulterior motive, you will always get a bhakti point. So these bhakti points will always be there. It doesn't, there's no loss for this. As it says in Bhagavad Gita, in this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution. We just have to be careful with Vaishnava Aparad. Because in Vaishnava Aparad, it is the Lord who feels the pain. The Vaishnava is transcendental. When these bhakti points accumulates more and more and more, then that's the time that we'll go back home, back to Godhead. And we can learn from Raghunath Das Goswami how sacrifice, the surrender that he is performing to reach the goal of love, especially of Radha and Krishna. We should follow in that footstep. Of course, we cannot imitate him. We cannot have 100 grams of shots every day or every other day. And he will only sleep, it says, for 90 minutes. Can you do that? I don't think I can do that. It'll be artificial if I do that. But do it in such a way that whatever we have, we use also for Krishna's service. Some of you may be gifted to have a big bank account. So give some to Krishna also. Rupa Goswami says 50%. I don't think a lot of devotees can do that, practicing devotees, but that is real renouncement. Giving whatever we have for Krishna's pleasure, because whatever we give to Krishna, he will reciprocate so much more. You've heard the story of Sudama Vipra? He only gave one chip of rice. What is the result? When he went back home, he cannot figure out, am I home or not? This looks like I'm in a wrong place here. And he's seen so many living human forms that he've never seen before. When he saw his wife, then he understood, yes, I'm at home. But he cannot figure out whether that is his home because his home turned into palace. You've heard the story of the fruit vendor in the Krishna book? Krishna, when he saw his parents doing these exchanges of commodities, of grains, because in those days, 5,000 years ago, there is no "in God we trust." There is no greenback. So when he saw this fruit vendor, he wanted to have some fruits. And then he went inside their home and he grabbed a handful of grains. But because his hand is so small already, some of these grains slipped in between his fingers, that when he reached the fruit vendor, who she became so attracted to Krishna. Who will not be attracted to Krishna? Only few grains left. He exchanged that for some fruits, and the fruit vendor, the lady, she gave everything, and she took whatever grains Krishna had on his palm. She put back in her basket. And then when she came home, she was so surprised. Actually, it became heavy because those grains turned into precious jewels, precious stones, ornaments. So when we give something to Krishna, the result is far more. When we give something without any expecting anything in return. Because bhakti is like that. We serve Krishna not expecting anything in return. Even though we want to go back home, back to Godhead, that is the ultimate result. We should be eager to go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime and give whatever we can, including our very self. Like Jagannath Das Goswami, when he was punished by Lord Nityananda, he got so much blessings that he had darshan of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Rupa Goswami actually is an eternal associate of the Supreme Lord. He's Rati Manjari. The 6 Goswamis, they are all eternal associates of the Supreme Lord. So, hope against hope, we should try our very best to go back to the spiritual world, and whatever lacking, whatever is there lacking, Krishna will make it up. He'll make it up. Whatever we have, he will preserve, and whatever is lacking, he will make it up. Hare Krishna. Is there any question? We have time for a question or two. Any question? Oh, right. Yes, sir. How to develop that mood of service? Yeah, one should be humble. One should be humble. We've read that he is the Acharya in Prayojana. Prayojana Acharya. Sambandha Acharya is Sanatan Goswami. Sambandha means establishing our relationship, knowingly that Krishna is God and I am his servant. And then there is the Abhidaya Acharya, who is Rupa Goswami, the process of how we can attain the end result, which is love of God. And Raghunath Das Goswami is the Acharya for that. He is very humble. I was reading, I'm gonna read to you. This is a very good question. Where is the cell phone? I'm gonna read you the meaning of how to be humble. Okay? This is from Prabhupada. Give me yes. Srila Prabhupada, what does it mean to be humble? Remember, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that one should be humble, or more humbler than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and one should not expect respect to oneself, but should be always ready to give respect to others. Then we can chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and we can attain pure loving devotional service. So, and his answer, Prabhupada says, it was really incredible. He said, humility means that you are convinced beyond any doubt that there is nothing in this world, absolutely nothing in this world, not your money, not your family, not your fame, not your gun, not your education, nothing that will save you except the mercy of Krishna. When you are convinced like this, then you are humble. And when you are humble, you can serve without any motivation. You can serve. You can serve with motivation, then you are not humble. So first one must be humble. Isn't it? Surrender. If you're not humble, you will not surrender. If there is no surrender, there is no love. Okay? Nothing can save us except Lord Krishna's mercy. This is humility. Okay, one last question. Yes, sir. Huh? Okay, give. Oh yes, he wrote a few books. Yes. He wrote a lot of books. All the Goswamis wrote books because this is their service to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wrote this Stavavali, Manasiksha. You ever heard of Manasiksha? The instruction to the mind. They wrote many, many books, especially pastimes of the Supreme Lord.
But you told that this Raghunath Das Goswami just slept 90 minutes, right?
Yeah.
But
they can do more. Their 24 hours actually is more than our 24 hours. They can do more. It's like Haridas Thakur, it's the same thing. He chants for 3 lakhs names, but he didn't spend that time. If he sleeps for 90 minutes, that means he is doing much more. Haridas Thakur, he chants 3 lakhs, 1 lakh japa, like what we do. We hear 1 lakh in Sankirtan, okay, and 1 lakh mona, silently. And that is the topmost. Because when one is really advanced, that you are in samadhi at that time. So if he has 90 minutes to sleep, that means he have more to work, to do. Unlike others, they sleep 12 hours. Actually, Prahlad Maharaj says, we live for 100 years, but we spend 50% of that sleeping. How? Because we work also, we do many things. So part of the day, we spend a lot of time in sleeping. Okay? There's a Bengali saying, if you want to have something get done, give it to a busy person, because he will be able to do it. If you want to get something done, don't give it to a lazy person. He will not do it. Right? So be busy for Krishna. All right? Srila Prabhupada K. Lord Nityananda K. Raghunath Das Goswami K. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu K. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So let's thank His Bhakti Anugraha, Jagannath Maharaj with a loud Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Wonderfully absorbing us in the pastimes of Raghunath Das Goswami. Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Okay, we'd like to welcome you all, especially those coming here for the first time. Anybody coming here for the first time? Anybody coming for the first time? Okay, no, that's good. Today's Sunday feast is sponsored by Vallabh Prabhu and Divya Ba. And we'd like to thank them for arranging the fresh mango to use in Sunday feast for occasion of their grandson Ishan's birthday. Vibhav, Hare Krishna. Ishan, is he here? Ishan can cut the cake. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna to Ishan. Hare Krishna to you. May you never take birth again. May you never take birth again. May you never take birth again. And go back to God. Ishan, also you can collect the gift from Maharaj. Offer your. Hari Bol. So let's bless him with a loud Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Okay, coming Tuesday, as we mentioned, is Lord Jagannath's Snan Yatra. Say Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki. Yeah. The program will be here from 6 to 9 p.m. in the evening. So you're all welcome. Then Lord Jagannath Puri Rath Yatra is on July 1st. We'll be celebrating it here also in the evening. It's a Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. And next day, on July 2nd, is Atlantic City Rath Yatra, where Lord Jagannath graces the boardwalk on Atlantic City from, I think there are many feasts sponsored today then, because there are many cell phones which rang. Ajay Prabhu's cell phone rang. Then there are, so I think we should have our cell phone switched off or on silent mode during class. Otherwise, you're automatically sponsoring the feast. Okay, Hari Hari. So it will start at 2 p.m. from New York Avenue. New York Avenue, right? Yeah. New Jersey Avenue and Boardwalk to Kennedy Plaza. So if you like to serve in any way, we have this wonderful thermometer. We have collected close to 10,000 Lakshmi for organizing these festivals. If you like to serve in any way, please contact one of us. And myself is Madhupati, Krishnan Prabhu, Hema Jagannath Prabhu, and we can give more details. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Please have the feast. Hare Bol, Hare Krishna.